and no pillow. I'm just gonna be...
Oh, you didn't like how you were
showing you
straddling
guys
that big pillow?
my rockin' hot,
Yes.
my hard abs, bro.
Yes.
You see that? Oh, yeah, you guys can't see my washboard
By
abs
the end of this video, actually, all clothes off, this
all
couch is
off.
gonna get
Yeah,
messy.
dude. Bare ass snail trail on this couch.
Oof, you're gonna have to figure out a way to get it out of this material.
I
That's
know.
gonna
Also,
be an issue.
you're gonna have to speak really close to the mic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think? Like,
because
you don't think
otherwise, I feel like we can't
audible?
hear you. Yeah.
Obviously, we really know how to do this.
You need to be like deep throating the mic.
Okay, I got you. Obviously super high budget. We have this going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're at this great undisclosed shoot location, guys.
Yes.
That my home. Ever heard of it?
Yeah. If you want to just state the address directly to the camera.
Yeah, I would think I could, right? I trust you guys.
Hey.
So I saw her like 2 weeks ago for her birthday, but before that, I had not seen her for like months.
Yeah, I feel like it was like
3 months.
Yeah, because I remember it must have been like fall or something because it wasn't cold yet. We like sat outside that bar. So
which that was frustrating that day. New York City, like I feel like it should be easy for you to just be able to sit down at a bar and drink a goddamn drink. There were like no places.
You know, New York born and raised over here, you get used to the frustrations a bit, but
really?
I get it, yeah. And there's just so many goddamn people.
New Jersey, born and raised here. I literally just go to Applebee's.
Type New Jersey in the chat, y'all.
Type New Jersey in the chat. You just go to Applebee's, you just go to Chili's, order yourself a dipper, a triple dipper, and, you know, let God do the work.
No, you go to New York, you spend $30 on a mid-drink.
Wow.
And you also had waited 45 minutes to sit down. It's really lovely, but it builds character.
Yeah, great, guys.
Yeah.
So, like, where do you want to live?
Yeah.
New York City or New Jersey?
Anyways, but why podcast? why go into podcasting?
I was just, like, so inspired by, you know, fellow podcasters like Joe Rogan and, what's his name? Clavicular. I saw him podcasting, and I was like, if people like them are emboldened to get a mic, then what is stopping somebody like us, you know?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similarly, I saw, you know, you see these union organizers and these activists just going out there and really doing the work that's needed. And I looked at that and I thought, how can I best serve my community? You know, and I figured, get this karaoke mic and start riffing about shit. That's how I serve this community. You know?
Guys, can we get a round of applause for
I
this?
know.
Oh my god.
Hey.
This philanthropic woman right here.
It's just so funny because like I would never dream of having any sort of like public facing job. And in my head this is not. I'm like, I'm just talking to you and like two imaginary people in like Indiana. But I think like less about like the viewership and more the idea of just like it's like a craft in a way.
100%.
Like obviously really shows when you watch Clavicular and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But, like,
absolutely.
it's like a craft of like having to like be able to talk about a topic.
Yeah, you realize that you're not like travel maxing enough and island maxing enough.
Yes,
like, you know,
that is crazy.
I know, he's so inspirational, guys.
So
Love this man. I feel like it's just a great place to have dialogue because I don't know, like we just represent a niche community, right? Like a Korean American from New Jersey and a Korean American from New York.
I hear those voices.
We've never heard about that, right? Did you guys know that there are even Korean Americans that live in those states? Did you know about that? Because we just found out.
Yeah,
a lot. But like, I feel like we offer very, very unique opinions and experiences, obviously, because we're just such a small part.
And you know what? Yeah, it's a little egotistical, I can't lie. I just like to talk.
We do. We just like
Is it a crime?
We like to riff off. No. And if it is a crime, well, lock me up.
Arrest me,
sir. Our officer, take me away. It's not a crime, you know? Oh my god. Speaking of being Korean American, I think this whole episode started because like Christine was like, I need to vent. I just need to talk about because guys, she's been going on dates with Korean American guys.
I know. Someone's got to do it. gotta do it.
Thank you so much, Bestie, for taking one
I'm
for
on the
the
front
team.
lines right now.
She is. She's a first responder.
It's tough. It's tough.
What
Really high budget, high tech here. We figured something out.
Can I just say, where is Freddie Benson when you need him from iCarly?
Oh my
we
god!
need like our little own like AV expert.
You know he wasn't doing shit with that camera. He was pressing on and off.
In 5, but that was all like theatrics. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera too because I think. See, this is what freaking sucks when your own production team is that. Like, I have to worry about continuity and, like, editing.
Nurses, paramedics, yeah, we get it.
We
but
get it.
Have you ever thought about how hard podcasting is?
Yeah, to just get in front of an audience and just, like, talk.
Yeah, I'm joking. I feel like I get scared about, like, there are some people who really can't detect sarcasm.
Yeah.
So that was a joke? Okay. Anyways.
What is that? There's that phenomenon on the internet. I forgot what it's called. Is it like bean soup or something like that? Where like
bean soup?
It's called bean soup, where like people automatically assume that like a video is meant for them. So like say a video pops up on your feed and it's like instructions on how to make bean soup. Like people comment like, what if I don't have beans? Well, then the video is not for you. Or go out and procure some beans. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
People think of the center of attention, so.
Is it like when people are posting on recipe videos, like the recipe is for like a cheese dish and they're like, what if I can't eat cheese?
Yeah, what if my religion prohibits me from eating cheese?
I'm like, maybe you shouldn't make this cheese dish then.
I've realized there are some religions that prohibit.
Oh, are there?
Well, if you're Jewish, like if you're Hasidic or you're very like, there are certain sects of Judaism where you can have dairy, but if you have dairy, then you can't have meat. You can't have meat with dairy.
That I knew. Yes. I see what you mean.
I forgot but I don't. You know what? I should have gone with that joke. I shouldn't have worried about.
It's okay.
Offending certain communities.
It's okay. You learn our intentions.
Yes. We are very well intentioned.
We are.
And you should give us as much grace as any other white. You would give grace to a white person, truthfully, because you know we deserve that much. I feel like when POC make mistakes, it's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
All the community turns on them.
Yeah.
Where it's like a white person makes a mistake, it's like, oh Billy. Yeah,
silly little Billy.
You'll get him tomorrow.
Silly little Billy committing a genocide.
No, for real. Like, oh, Benjamin.
But
literally.
Oh, you know what? Before we had to cut, we were gonna talk about dating.
Yes.
You know, the way I would summarize it, honestly, is just like Korean American men can just be so boring. That's my main issue. And you know, like I say that, and I don't want to sound egotistical in that, like, oh my god, I'm just so entertaining, and like no one can match my levels. And with some men, that's true, but I don't know. There, as a whole, like the way Korean boys are brought up. And, like, I've seen this firsthand, like, not in the sense that I have siblings or anything like that, but, like, just the boys I grew up around in church and whatnot, it's like they're so used to having everything laid out in front of them. Like, they grow up in households, if they have, like, a typical 2-parent household, it's like, dad is working, but also comes home and then does nothing. Mm-hmm. Mom also works, but then mom also does everything at home. And it's, like, insane. Like, I feel like you can see this picture, too, but, like, sorry, oh my gosh. Somebody is trying to get into my apartment.
Guys, stay tuned to see if Christine's house will be broken into.
It might be my Girl Scout cookies. Let me just open the door in case it's that.
You should.
Sorry, this is extremely urgent. I'll get back to what I was saying, but I really wanted those Girl Scout cookies.
I'll take over the conversation while she's figuring that out.
What was I saying? But...
You're good?
All right, hopefully it's that. Otherwise, I just let in a random person, but...
Yay!
But yeah, it's like, I was gonna paint that picture. You know when, like, there's, like, some kind of gathering or a moim, and then, like, you have all the moms, like, in the kitchen, and then, like, all the dads, like, on the couch watching TV.
You want a reinforcement of gender roles? Go to any church gathering on, like...
Oh, yeah.
Preparation for Sunday.
Lord.
Like, Literally every single person who's in the kitchen, a woman. I've not seen a single man in the kitchen.
Yep.
And then all the ajashis are just chilling in like the congregation, like just like chatting with their dude friends and like just chilling.
Talking about going golfing afterwards.
They're not even watching their kids. Their kids are running around playing with each other. They're straight up there just chatting.
No, literally how it was for me. I'm practicing jumping off a ledge with some kids. Like, we're just
literally,
jumping.
Literally. It's so crazy. I think Korean men, or just Asian men in general, I think because of Confucianism, they're just brought up to be like the center of the solar system.
Yeah.
I genuinely, because my family wasn't super like that. It's like, I think, you know, I do have an older brother and he wasn't really treated like that by my parents. I go to a different household though, and I swear to God, like, the parents give him more food for morning and the breakfast. Like, I did a coffee run for like my friend in the morning for breakfast. I wanted to treat them for like, you know, thanks for letting me sleep over your house. And they're like, oh, like, make sure she gets like your older brother's order. And I'm just like, but I'm not even friends with him. Like, what?
Oh.
Okay. I was getting coffee for the whole household, but like, I just think it's interesting that like the mom had to call it out that I needed to get coffee for like her older brother. Yeah. He's like a grown man. If he wants something for coffee, he can come up to me and tell me that he wants that for coffee.
Yeah, those like K-drama mother-in-law tropes are true to an extent. Like, you know, it's like us as the girls were the afterthought.
You think that this is all fiction, but there's a kernel of truth. There's a reason why that trope exists.
Truly. I mean, I'm really fortunate. I think part of it is being an only child, but like, I truly never had to deal with that, in the sense like my ideas were always valued. I was kind of the center of my parents' universe. You know, hence why I'm such an amazing opinionated person. True. Who's like blacklisted on Instagram, but
yeah, girl is like one strike away from being banned forever. I swear.
You know, turns out, even if you're just trying to be funny, if you threaten a certain president's life multiple times as a joke, apparently that doesn't fly well.
Is this really all that it takes? Guys, freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
The Constitution that they're so obsessed about, like, come on.
Yeah, and they need to train their AI algorithms better, because, like, you should know I'm joking. Like, I'm being very funny and cute. So
this is the problem with AI. AI does not detect sarcasm. ChatGPT doesn't go like, oh, that's funny. I didn't get that. No, they're not. They're just like, oh, you know, we're so sorry you have feelings for your uncle, but I just want to remind you that you're human.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a whole other thing.
I know.
Okay, back to, sorry, I think in tangent.
Korean American men, we're trying to untangle that, the socioeconomic forces that, you know, make them the way that they are.
Yeah, so I very much am internally debating if I'm even meant to be in a relationship with them. Like, because like, I mean, like, I know I'm capable of being attracted to anyone regardless of race, but what makes things difficult is that obviously having a Korean partner makes it easier in terms of like the shared culture and whatnot 100%. And shared language. But if I'm miserable and bored, that's not really helping anyone. And just again, like, I don't want to be with someone who's like, our entire relationship has to revolve around them, and I just have to accommodate. Like, sorry, I'm not that generous.
No, I think it's like a heartbreaking thing for you to realize that maybe you're not compatible with a lot of Korean American men, because it gives up your hope of, like, I don't know, reconnecting with your culture. Because when you marry somebody who's outside, and I would say you and I are pretty Korean, when you marry somebody outside of the Korean society and culture, like, for the rest of your life, that's her dildo and her vibrator. The first one was the cookies, and then this is her dildo and vibrator.
I'm so sorry. You know, I'm gonna ignore this. This can't be something serious.
No, you're so right. It's probably the guy having a heart attack and he needs immediate medical attention, and she just okay, his life doesn't matter. Whatever. Podcasting matters more, you know?
Right. Sorry. But I don't know. Like, so I'm very much. I also have like no real dating experience, so that also makes it tough. But I don't really know what I need or want still, which is okay. But I'm still but
I had a burp there.
Share it. Do they actually want to die? Like,
you okay?
I was about to show the camera, but I'm not expecting more than one thing. I don't know what that is. I just let a random person in again, so it's okay.
No, I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, if I am on the news, if you see Asian girl murdered on the news in a couple days, that's
just assume that's Christine, guys.
Yeah. Where were we? But yeah, I'm like very, very torn because I've been able to reconnect with my Korean heritage in a really beautiful way. I feel like starting college, maybe I would say.
Yeah.
And I want to further that, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like I have to do that through my relationship, but it would be an easy avenue, that's for sure.
My biggest fear is forgetting the language, right? Because me and Korean, we're already on pretty thin ice.
Yeah, same here.
I'm like, Lord God help me. But I like, obviously if you marry somebody Korean, that's like the language that you can reinforce to your kids and everything. But it's like, if I marry somebody who's not Korean, that's obviously not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's difficult. And it's nice. It's nice for your parents to be able to have somebody that they can communicate with freely. Yeah. And our parents can speak English. It's just like, I don't know if can your parents speak English well?
My dad's pretty good. Like his grasp of vocabulary is actually really good, but they just both learned quite late, so their pronunciation will always get blocked. And my dad likes studying, so again he knows a lot of vocab. Mom doesn't care. She's like they'll get the point.
Yeah,
banking a lot of body language. But I guess like unless I'm cutting you off, I guess I also wanted to ask like at this point, do you also think you would date a Christian? Because that's what we grew up in. But I know we both have a pretty turbulent, maybe not turbulent at this point, but like interesting.
Turbulent can be accurate.
Yeah, interesting relationship with faith and spirituality.
It depends on how people view Christianity. I think there was a really great video that I saw on TikTok where somebody was like, there are Christians who want to bring heaven to earth, right? Rather than escapist Christians who are waiting for the world to end so that they can be reunited with God. Yeah. Have no interest or stake in the world and trying to make it a better place. There's lots of Christians like that. I would say lots of modern theology is like that, where people are apolitical and don't do community events or reach outs or anything. Like they don't care about any of that. They care about self-preservation until they go to heaven. And I think I would be okay to date somebody who's Christian and is actually the embodiment of Christ, and not with a lot of modern theology, because I think a lot of things get lost with modern theology. But I think I'm most aligned with somebody who's spiritual. I've been on dates with people who are atheists and they are incorrigible. Like I cannot talk to them. Their absence of any kind of spirituality or like, it's interesting. I think there are a lot of atheists that I've run into where they don't understand the grandeur of like living in existence. You know what I mean? Whereas spiritual people, I feel like they acknowledge that maybe there is a higher or greater power out here that's caused everything to fall into place, where we're living and breathing on this planet and capable of complex thought. That is such a grand thought. And I feel like atheists can't really grasp that, or like the grandeur of life or the mysticism of life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could be with an atheist person purely because I equate them to hyper-religious people.
True.
I think being so confident and emboldened in believing that there's nothing is the same thing as being so sure of yourself in believing in a certain something, And like, I don't know, I can't deal with either ends of that spectrum. I think that's what's tough for me, is because I'm trying to figure out what that medium looks like for me. I'm still playing around with labels. There was a while where I dropped the Christian label because I really wasn't vibing with it. Kind of going in that direction right now, just because like, the state of the world, obviously really fun and lovely right now. But the way that Christianity is just being conflated with white nationalism in this country, I'm really, a shocker, not digging it. So it's tough. But again, same as you. I don't think I could do someone who's hyper religious in any way, but I also can't deal with an atheiist. When they're like, when on a dating app, they're like, atheist, apolitical, not sure about relationship status. I'm like, oh, so you don't know anything. So
you have no decision.
Yeah,
you're like a wisp in the wind.
Yeah.
You have no decision. No.
I'm sorry, you contribute nothing.
You're a coward.
Yeah,
you're a coward.
You contribute nothing to the world.
That's how I feel about people who are moderates. I'm like, you're a coward. You just not made a decision. Make a decision, babe. Make a decision.
Either that, or I'm like, hey, you're a conservative who doesn't want to say that. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know, because I guess like I don't even know what my own identity is in that. But I think I'm kind of floating around with like, I don't need to. Like, how important is the terminology at this point?
I agree. I think Gen Z especially, very obsessed with labels. Very obsessed with labels and very intent on just knowing who the person is, black and white. But I'm like, man, we're young. We're still figuring stuff out. And that's not only applicable to the young. You can always be at a stage of life where you're figuring shit out. You know?
I mean, we were talking about like sexuality too when we were, getting down and dirty last night. So,
we were giving each other some sloppy toppy.
Patreon footage.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Patreon.
Subscribe to our YouTube account so you know what you're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out. OnlyFans. But sorry, I'm just like my vocal stems sometimes really just like start exploding. But where was I going with that? And then I lost the point of this serious conversation. Oh yes, we were talking about how sexuality too. I think I very much accepted like I don't know if I can, and maybe I just don't need words for it anymore. I'm like high key like asexual, like we're figuring that stuff out too, and I'm like I don't even know if I need all these words.
I'm queer, but I'm really not attracted to like hyper femme people. Like I'm more attracted, I feel like I'm more attracted to people who are like non-binary, trans-mask, like I don't know, like it's confusing, like
it's confusing.
I
mean, like purely maybe it's like the low-key asexuality thing, but it makes me incredibly lazy. So I'm like, you know what, my probability is I'm probably going to end up with a cis hetero man, and that's just what it is. But I'm so horny, guys. Dating is really difficult for me because there's a lot on the line. What do you mean?
I don't know. I just like
a lot on the line.
It's a lot on the line, and where like
a lot to risk, I guess.
No, it's just a lot on the line was probably not the best way to describe it, but I feel like I constantly have a fire lit under my ass. Like I need to get out there and do something, and the fire is my horniness. Like I just need to get out there and meet new people. But then men, you know this because you are driven by your impulses as well, but whenever you are driven by just lust purely, those decisions are not great.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk, right? That being driven by lust and greed is going to result in the most like in loving and caring relationships and friendships.
I really need like I'm very not traditional in many ways. I will say though, maybe we bring back matchmakings, as a norm.
I did watch that movie, that A24 movie with Celine Song, Materialist.
And I didn't watch it, but yeah.
A very interesting movie. I did not hate on it as much as other people did. But I did like matchmaking services. I felt like if I had somebody like Lucy who was making those matches for me, like I feel like, well, if you watch the movie, you know that it doesn't go well for one of her clients. But everything up until that point for her clients had been going pretty great. So, I would love some matchmaking services, but they do exist. They're just exorbitantly expensive.
Yes to all of that. And also, what that got me thinking of is like, how do you think you would do on a show like Singles Inferno? They're not calling me. First of all, I don't have to think about it.
They're not calling me.
They're not calling either of us.
They're not calling me for sure.
They're not calling us. But let's just entertain this.
So let's entertain this hypothetical. Say the new casting directors for Singles Inferno are blind. They have they suffer from macular degeneration.
They're blind. They're a little delusional. They're like, let's just make a funny season this time around.
Singles Inferno, I think I would literally just have to be the personality hire, just get through by being a complete goofball. But let's be honest, like if I get into Singles Inferno, I'm sneaking in snacks because what do you mean I have to eat a fucking carrot tuna and kuguma for my entire day. Like,
Don't piss me off.
I'm already on this blaring hot, like this hot ass island, because I think it's shot in Guam. It's shot in Guam. It's so hot there, hot as balls.
Yeah.
When they're shooting, and I have to come back and just like be commiserate amongst like other. Let's be honest, a lot of the contestants are very shallow. Like I have to be with other shallow Korean contestants and eat that shitty ass food.
I also just have too many sensory issues. Like if you the food thing. First of all, wake up and you're gonna give me canned tuna and carrots for breakfast. Don't piss me off. Also, sorry, like I am, like usually I get no messages, and now like my phone is like going off. Let me just like
it's on her lovers. It's her
wish. That the food thing is big, but also like playing games in a bikini, like I'm gonna blow my brains out. Like I'm feeling so uncomfortable.
There are those games where you have to try hard to get to paradise or go with the guy that you want.
Yeah.
And seeing girls try really hard at that, seeing that desperation makes my toes curl up.
Yeah.
The way that these girls are willing to claw each other, like fight each other to just merely be able to ask out the guy to go to paradise with them is like my hell on earth, personally. There is no scrub on that show where I would be willing to throw away my dignity.
No. I feel like realistically the path for me, well, first of all, I'm having like a neurodivergent freak out like every night. But second thing is I would probably like, I probably will just become friends with all the girls.
100%.
And then like no guys will ask me out, and that's just how the show is going to go.
100%. And like a lot of these guys don't even recognize a baddie when they see one. There's so many gorgeous girls in the show that have no. Also, my lav mic died, so I'm just gonna project to you guys.
Oh, we can share this.
No, it's okay. I don't need it.
Wait, that's like oh my god, you know the Victoria's Secret who said I couldn't
She never said I couldn't sing.
I would just bang my head. Yeah. Oh my god, that is so good.
Oh my god, that show's so funny.
You think you can be loud enough? I mumble, so I'm gonna
I think so. Yes.
I'll give you a little cue here and there if I think you're getting too quiet.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that show, I could never survive it. I can't be perceived like that.
No.
Like, I don't even like going on dates with people if I realize we have mutuals. Like, I need to not be perceived.
100%. And you know what's crazy is that you also forget that there's a panel of people who are
hell no.
microanalyzing everything you say and do.
That's my dream job. I want to put me on that panel. Now we're talking. I'm psychoanalyzing.
I love that panel. I think that they're the funniest and most interesting group of people ever. But to be under their like scrutiny is probably the scariest thing ever. Like, what if they don't like me? I want them to like me.
I know. They would like I'd watch back the show and they're zooming into me like huddled in a corner, like crying, and they're like talking about me, and I'm like, oh, so I actually can't ever show my face again.
Never.
That's good.
Oh my god. I also hated the last season because Chemina Sue pissed me off. Did you see the last season?
You know, I saw most of it. So I know all the spoilers.
I just don't like her. She gives me an ick because she represents... who knows if she grew up in the Korean Christian church? Maybe not. Maybe she didn't. But like, there are so many girls like her who are very boy obsessed, boy focused. That do, like, I feel like that was a huge source of contention for like growing up in a big Korean church, which I didn't honestly, but like this is just from seeing my friends and having friends who were in the Korean church, like seeing girls throw each other under the bus because they just started to hit puberty. They just started out that they just started finding out that they liked guys and like wanted their validation. The amount of drama, I would say like 80 to 90% of the drama was always like boy drama.
You know, boy drama is one thing, and then the second thing is like then the guys who prey upon those girls, like I'm like very much not talked about, which is why we were thinking about talking about it too. But it's like, hey, so actually I think crimes are taking place here. Hey guys, crimes. Literal crimes.
It's actually so crazy because, listen, in church, you're not given a talk about like sex ever. Your parents are probably not giving you a talk about sex ever. So it's like, it's really scary because here are a bunch of kids that congregate together and spend a lot of time together, and like they have no idea what sexuality is, how they're supposed to proceed, like, and it's hard because they grow up from families where fundamentally like women are devalued, you know? So it's very easy for them to be aggressive and be forceful, like about their sexual proclivities, you know, which causes assault. It causes like all these things. I mean, like I experienced it at the church, and like it's just difficult because this is a place that you're supposed to feel safe and supposed to feel comfortable, but like they don't do anything about it, you know?
Yeah, and I mean also to add to that, I'm sorry, I know I've met them too. There are some sweet people who go into leadership because truly they are, I don't want to say disillusioned, that's too mean. They truly believe they can do good things in that role. And like great, okay? Because sometimes they are doing great things in that role. But we talked about this, but there are too many bum ass men who and you know they've never received any other sort of validation, not academic validation because they're illiterate, not validation through their careers because again, I mean, they're illiterate and also like not talented, but their moms think they're the best thing in the world, so they never work on becoming talented or skilled in any way, so they have that going for them too. Chopped because again, they already think they're beautiful, don't have to do anything about it, as poor hygiene, whatever, add that to the list. And then like, you know, the only way they can like power trip others is like, oh, if I just become like a leader in some sort of way within this like youth ministry, then like, I know what I can do. And like, there are too many guys I've met in retrospect, and I'm like, wait, they were actually kind of slimy. Like, they weren't just being sweet; they were being nice to all the young cute girls.
Ew, 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 ew.
Slimy.
I can't tell you how many times a leader at the church, like a man, and here's the thing is that like, why become a leader so early? A lot of these guys are young. Like if you're in college and you're like a senior in college, I feel like, you know, maybe you're still not mature enough to be like a leader of a congregation of like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
You know? But I just saw so many men prey on young women at church, especially men who are in positions of power. And a lot of these things get buried for so long, for as long as they're in power. And then as soon as they leave, these things start resurfacing again. Because, guys, trauma, whether it's sexual or not, it always bubbles up to the surface.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are things that you cannot shove down and forget about over time. It affects the way that you view people, you view relationship. It informs everything about your life. Trauma informs such a big part of your life.
Yeah.
They don't go away.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'll speak to the extent of what is comfortable for me, and like, you know, you do that too, like, you don't have to share, but I've told you before that, like, my first experience of sexual harassment was with, like, a guy in the church, and I was, like, even too young to really get what was happening, so it felt pretty, like, harmless then, but in retrospect, I'm like, wait, so why was this, like, college dude, like, inappropriately touching me like a fourth grader, right? And I'm like,
whoa,
it was,
you were fourth grade,
something like that. I was pretty young, and like I will say, like, not to get into detail, I don't want to say ambiguous in the sense of like I'm trying to say like he wasn't in the wrong, like objectively, like what are you doing, like I don't care what your intentions were. It was a bit like of a ambiguous situation for me as a kid, but in retrospect I'm like, oh, that's insane, right? Like that's not right no matter how you look at it. And it's like, you know, I was shocked to realize once I started processing it, like looking back at my life, I think like in high school or something like that. You know, it's funny because like I kind of forgot about it, but you know, as you were mentioning, I'm sure it's bubbling up in other ways. Like that's part of the reason why the sexuality thing is very confusing for me. But where was I going with that?
That is so crazy.
But it is crazy. And but you know what I realized once I started processing it and started talking to like people I trusted and whatnot, like I was shocked to hear so many stories just like that. And I'm like, wait, I thought mine was like a one-off, like, outlier or something. And like, no, like so many girls in the church, but again, they get preyed upon when they don't know any better. And like, again, they don't have any education about it in that regard. So it's like, it's happening constantly. And I'm like, dang.
My thing about the church is that because that's happened to me before too, and at a very young age. And you know, the thing about the church is that I will say this, it's inevitable because it happens in human nature. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying inevitable in that it should happen.
Yeah.
It's disgusting and it's terrible. But listen, where there's large groups of people congregated together, I can understand statistically why that might happen.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, what are you doing to stop it? And what are you doing to protect the victims? Like, what are you doing to, like, the only path forward that you're taught is forgiveness. Mm-hmm. That's the only way that you can get forward with things. And they come up with some crazy, like, footwork, crazy mathematical thinking of like, well, like this is why you have to forgive somebody to move forward. If like you don't forgive them, then you can't move forward with their life. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily forgiving them for what they did, but this is just for you. And I'm like, that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Listen, you assault somebody or you do any kind of harm to them, you should not be allowed back at the church. That church.
No.
Maybe go to a different church and try your luck there. But you should be banned from that church, and that should be the escalation from the church.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, that reminded me of this story. I wasn't told this as a kid because I guess they were like, you're not at the right age to know it. But my parents told me like a few years ago this story about how often, I don't know if this is the case for most churches, but at least in the Korean American church system, you often get placed into these smaller groups. And like those really become the adults. Those really become your core group of honestly friends and who you spend a lot of time doing these religious activities with.
Yeah.
And my parents were in a group at like one of my childhood churches, and there was this woman in their group that was getting beat up by her husband, like beat up, like clearly abused. And you know, my parents were trying to do what they could because obviously they were like, hey, this is not good. So I think initially they tried to tell one of the lead pastors, and yes, they were at that time a part of like this was a really large church. So I'm sure to an extent they're hearing a lot. There's a lot in the day-to-day to deal with, but they try to reach out to one of the lead pastors about it. And I think the response they got was basically like, maybe like figure that out on your own. I'm like, oh, so I mean, for what you preach, like, do you not care that like one of your members is being beat up, beat up brutally? And like, I remember my parents were like trying to help her. And I think they were even getting these like nasty calls from the husband and whatnot, for trying to intervene. And it was like, when I heard that a few years ago, and that was a period of time in which I was really struggling with my faith, I was like, well, this just validates for me that like maybe what I'm seeking isn't in this specific building, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's insane work to me, and that's like that goes against everything I believe in. Like, if I'm gonna do this, because I'm contemplating, there are like a lot of different types of churches out there. Mm-hmm. I'm like, ooh, I'm like dancing around the idea of going to a Quaker meeting. Let me tell you about that.
For real, I do love Quakers.
Yeah, I dig Quakers, but yeah, it's like it really validated for me. Like, well, I'm not gonna like force myself into this routine if it's like if it doesn't align with my moral compass. But yeah, the Quakers got it down though.
They do. Quakers, if you're having a meeting, like invite us. We would love
Quakers,
to join.
type 1 in the chat.
Yeah, type 1 in the chat right now. And if you're Episcopalian, maybe that too.
I'm looking. You know, I was gonna do more research into that too.
Yeah, but they're pretty chill. They're pretty cool.
I really mess with Quakers. Do you know how they do like worship? They don't call it worship, but do you know how they do it? They literally sit in silence. So they all congregate in like a meeting house, and then, you know, to be fair, maybe some places do it differently, but I think traditionally, literally, there's no person who's considered the leader who leads. You just sit in silence, and if you feel called by the Spirit, you can start speaking.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah, you just start sharing, and then other people can like comment on that, or just share whatever is on their mind, or you can just sit there and think and meditate.
That is so fucking cool. That's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, I vibe with that.
Contrast to church where there's just such structure about like people like worship practice for like 5 hours on a weekend where they're like listen, you got to get the chord progressions right. It's C dim first, then G, then back to C. Like, I'm just like, in the grand context of things, does this matter?
Yeah. Oh my God, you just made me think about like my best friend Joseph, who's also not in the church anymore for his own reasons. But he used to be heavily involved, and he ran, because he's a really good singer. He ran that worship team like it was the motherfucking Navy. Wait, let me tell you a funny story. They were at retreat, and like he was working them like dogs into the night practicing. And like I'm sharing this because like he's not in that anymore, but and then like one of the girls was just so exhausted. She's like, "Can I just go use the bathroom?" And she went out to use the bathroom, and on the way there she just fell asleep on the steps. and then Joseph was like, after like 10-15 minutes, he was like, "Where is this girl?" So he stepped out and found her and dragged her back to practice.
You know what? Knowing Joseph, I 100%.
Oh my God, I'm sliding off this couch. Oh my God,
yeah, that tends to do that.
But
that is so crazy.
Sorry, but we were obviously talking about something. Oh yes, and like to add to like the intensity of the worship and whatnot. Also, again, our point about the bum ass losers, it's these guys who get off on standing in front of everyone. I'm like, low key, some pastors are really good speakers. I've listened to sermons by very intelligent people where I'm like, all right, you know, like even if I don't agree with everything, I really respect your research and analysis. But there are some guys that speak and I'm like, you are a frat bro with like a limited ass vocabulary. You do not need to be standing up there giving your ideas. I'm like, I could do that. Put me up there.
100%. Oh my God. Every praise team leader or all these leaders are all people I feel like who are, from what I've experienced, some level of power tripping.
Yeah.
Where it's like people get addicted to the feeling of power and adoration by a lot of people. I know it's a very addicting feeling. I mean, look at us right now. Look at the power that we wield against you, the viewers, for the podcast. We are hungry and delirious with power.
Yeah, I'm like licking my lips thinking about the 2 people listening to this right now.
The megalomaniac in us just wants all this power, wants your attention.
But it's real. It's so real. Even when it's like only like 15 people in those chairs, like looking up to this one dude, I'm like, it's delusions. I never understood that. I never got it, but
it's crazy.
It's really scary to me, like how the desire for power manifests in every space. And like, you know, I don't want to dog down on just Christianity. It's just because it's what I know. But like, really, you see it across all the major religions, right? It's like, you can't help but the desire for power to seep in and just dirty everything up. I think that's what upsets me, because like I actually really do vibe with Jesus. Jesus is a vibe. He's a good guy. I'm like, I really do love Jesus. And like, regardless of how that manifests and what that's going to mean for me, I don't know. But I'm like, it's just so like the way like his teachings are being used, I guess, is like so counterintuitive to me. I'm like so confused. I'm like, did y'all not read the book I was reading? Like, I'm like, Jesus was so cool. He just like hung out with like the most hated people in society, like sex workers and stuff, and like did his thing.
Speaking of sex workers, there's this program called YWAM. Do you know YWAM?
No.
It's huge. So it's like this like, it's kind of like KCCC, where it's like this independent group of like young Christians who are trying to be missionaries across the world. And so there are a lot of young Christians who go on YWAM missions. Sometimes they go to a beautiful place like Hawaii, you know, or sometimes you go to like, you know, war-torn areas, or sometimes you get placed in areas that aren't as developed as much. And like, for the longest time, there are a lot of people from church. So a lot of people, I don't know if you know this, and this is a very interesting hole that I went down, but a lot of our young like Disney Channel stars, like that we saw growing up, like they were Christian. They were from Christian families. And it makes sense because Disney's profile back then, very like family focused, even though they weren't distinctly Christian, like they were looking for people who embodied those values, you know? And there were some people who were Disney stars that went on YWAM trips as well. But then, so it disbanded, or maybe they're still around, but it lost a lot of its footing because in Cambodia or somewhere in the Southeast Asia, one of the leaders there was caught like soliciting prostitutes, and he was doing it the entire time that he was stationed there. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's so crazy. And people come back from YWAM saying that it's like a life-changing religious experience. But then there were leaders who were doing that, exploiting the local people, like soliciting prostitutes the entire time they were serving there. What the fuck? And this is the thing, like, right? Human beings are inherently flawed. But this is what sucks about Christianity, is that like there are like people choose to be absolutist, and then when it comes to like Christians tend to be very absolutist when they think of things, right? They're like, that's sinning. You're either in the world or you're in Christ. You know what I mean? But then those situations happen, and it's like, oh well, you know, like he's just done so much work for YWAM, and you know, like he's done so much work for God. Maybe we can let this one slide, guys. It's like crazy. So there's it's crazy how people show grace and forgiveness, and what Christians sometimes stand to be black and white about, and what they stand to be gray about, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful with my words here, but
don't be.
Yeah, I want to believe in grace, and I think to an extent it's available. But if you touch a kid, I think you need to die. Like, literally. I don't know what to tell you.
I think you need to go to prison.
I wish worse than that upon you. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, the thing that's been so scary to me and unsettling, and I understand, I guess I was being really naive about it, and maybe I'm privileged in not having to be exposed to this side of the world, but like, I truly grew up as a kid thinking, you know what? Pedophiles are such a small percentage of our world, and to learn that like it's not as simple as like, yeah, maybe it's like statistically a small amount of people who are genuinely attracted to minors. The fact that people are willing to like dip their toes into that once they're like their dopamine receptors are fried and they just need to do whatever. I'm like everyone in power. I'm like let's just wipe them out. Like I'm like maybe we just.
It's actually crazy. I think this is the issue, right? Is that there's a lot of parts of pornography and just sex in general and virginity, and even the concept of virginity that relies on youth. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people inherently have, especially men, have those tendencies, or not tendencies, I don't even want to say tendencies, but they've had exposure to all of those things. So at that point, it's just a matter of, I don't know. Okay, it's difficult to explain. Every dude, even us, all of us have had exposure to pedophilia to some certain extent, right? Where even if people are of legal age are being exploited, or girls who are purposely trying to look younger, or men who are trying to look more youthful to gain more sex appeal. You know what I mean? It's existed from the beginning of time. So your job as a human being, I feel like, is to, first of all, I don't know, get rid of a system that exploits young people like that, but also to not find beauty. It's difficult to explain, but like not to find beauty in things other than youth.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm not phrasing this correctly. I will probably cut this out, but
what? Let's keep it in. Let's zoom in. I'm gonna replay it actually.
No, for real.
Over and over. No, but I get it. It's like we're never gonna solve this crisis, unfortunately. But I'm like, we've got to at least, like, as a society, like, draw a line and be very definitive about it, at least in the way we talk about it, because where are we letting this fly? Like, anyways.
That's okay. This is a very interesting theory of mine. I think one of the main benefits about being fat, or I've always been in a bigger body, right, is that the men who are attracted to me, I feel like I can trust that they'll still be attracted to me even when I'm older. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
I've never thought about that.
Because I feel like youth is often associated with like being skinny and being at your skinniest and having very like thin bodies, right? The thin bodies and youth, those are things that are very like tied together. So I feel like something that I've experienced as a fat woman is that like when a guy is attracted to like curves and like, you know, fat on a woman, I feel like maybe the chances of that being a pedophile are a little lower. You know? But that's just a theory, and I don't know if that's true.
From the way you're explaining it, that makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of my friends who have experienced like weird, creepy guys, like,
I will say,
okay, I don't take any offense to this, but you are very petite and you look a lot younger because guys, like, we're the same age, but
we're like the same age, but to your point, like, I am 2 feet tall, so I actually do worry a lot about,
she's not actually 2 feet tall, guys. I promise.
Maybe I'm not going to be able to give you an idea, but I'm like 4'11", right? And like, you know, I think like I do come across closer to my age in certain spaces, especially if I'm like presenting myself in a certain way or working in my role in my career. But like in my day-to-day, especially if I'm dressed casually, I can get read as a lot younger than I am, and I do worry. I'm like, are you a pedophile?
Do you feel that? Did you get that vibe from some of the guys?
When I get catcalled, I worry that they're a pedophile. And you know, I'm gonna say something, and I'm like, I think I've heard this before, so I don't think it's super atypical. But the most I was ever catcalled was like fresh in high school, and I literally had a school backpack on, so I'm like, hey, so what the actual hell is wrong with you? Because this is not like ambiguous, like I'm not just walking around like, you know, and just like my outfit, like I have my school backpack on. So how old, and you're driving a car, so I know you have to be of a certain age. And I'm like,
I can't, like, can you imagine hitting on somebody with a JanSport?
I'm in my blue Chuck Taylors and like my shitty ass ripped apart like backpack. Like, there's no way
This girl is older than 16.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm like, that's like, and I like one time I remember this guy also, like this random guy in the street, like grabbed me on the ass, and like I was in college but had a backpack on, and I'm like, again, what if I was in 7th grade?
Whoa.
And like maybe that's what they want.
Some dude grabbed your ass on the street.
I was literally like, I was so like dumbfounded that I wish I responded in a better way, but I literally turned around, looked at him, I was like, hey, what the fuck? That's all I could manage. And then I just kind of like just glared at him, and he looked a little sheepish. I was like,
that is,
and then he walked away.
That's so jarring.
Yeah, I mean, like,
oh my god.
I know, like, again, I was going to school in New York City. I know it happens, but again, the if I like map this out on a graph, I'm like, the fact that I was getting hit on the most when I was like 14, 15, 16, I'm like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Like, I still look young, but I looked, especially with my backpack on, like, I looked hella young.
I agree. I think it peaked when I was like in my, like 20, 21.
Yeah.
And then but it started like when you're 15, 14, like prepubescent.
Yeah.
Like right when you hit puberty.
Our prime, am I right?
Our prime, apparently.
Yeah.
You know? That's so crazy.
No, it's insane work. That's and again, to your point about like the stature and whatnot, I do worry about that a little bit. But like, you know, typically I'm going on dates with people who know my age. Like, we've done a little bit of conversing.
Yeah.
So, yay, they don't think I'm 12. Score. Yippee. God, this world.
I feel like it's difficult. It's difficult to tell.
It can be difficult to tell. I get it. I get it. And like, I don't know, there's a weird line to toe, because like we were talking about ideal types recently, and I do like a youthful presentation, right? So like I think if you're trying to say, if a guy is saying like, I don't know, what's something that's a little more like innocuous? Maybe like, okay, the height thing, right? Like, oh, I prefer someone who's like a bit on the shorter side. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But then like, once you like really listen close and they really start describing it more, you're like, ooh, we're walking dangerous territory right now.
I was thinking about this, and I actually do think I find shorter guys attractive.
Well, shorter as in like shorter by certain standards or shorter than you? Like, what did you mean by that?
Not shorter than me. That's kind of hard because
that's impossible for me. So
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. I think I like guys who are around my height, just because I don't know. Shorter guys have more aura. I like tall guys. I've been on dates with tall guys, and their excuse for a personality is it's shuddering. Like I'm just like, oh my god, please, like this cannot be your only personality trait that you're like 6 feet tall. Please have interests and wants and desires for the world. Like
have an ability to formulate a question.
That every interesting date that I've been on was with a guy who was like 5'6" to 5'8", and even 5'9". That's the tip of the range. Very interesting people.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for one moment, which is that I have conversely, though, met some short guys. And again, I don't actually, like, I'm short. I'm saying short by society standards. So let's say they're like 5'5" or something. But they compensate by being a clown. And I'm like, no one asked you to be the jester.
No.
They're like, ooh.
First of all, the only people who can jest in the relationship is us. Yeah. Like, we're the jokers.
We can't have two jesters here. But there are the guys like that who are, I'm like, well, now you're obnoxious.
No, I can't. Or a guy who tries to make a joke out of everything, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I did just talk about like my sexual trauma. Maybe not a great time for a punchline.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
It's tough. But I will say I am partial to shorter guys, maybe just because I've had better experiences with them. Also, it's nice to kiss somebody who's kind of around the same height as you, you know what I mean? I don't like the whole like taller men having to like swoop down and kiss you because like I don't know what it is, but sometimes I have like an out of body experience when kissing somebody, and I'm looking down and I'm seeing this guy hunched over kissing me, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like very logistical, right? And I'm like, I can't, it's not even about attraction. I can't be with a 6-foot guy. Like, I don't want him on his hands and knees so that we can like embrace, you know? That's silly.
I also, with huge height differences, I can't. Like, I think when you're getting beyond the point of 6 feet, it's silly at that point. I'm like, please don't. Like, just be with women who are around your height. And I love seeing a tall couple. They got aura. One time I saw a 6'5" man, 6'3" girl walking hand in hand together, and I was like, can I just shimmy up? Can I just shimmy up and I'll shimmy up on you and just like you carry me around everywhere, just grabbing onto you like this. They have so much aura. If you're not that I will attract men who are 6'5", but like I do like shorter guys. Yeah, I don't know.
I actually could see a tall guy in your future for some reason. Something makes sense with that.
You know what? That's crazy. But then we'll just make NBA babies. Like,
there we go.
We'll just push them out.
There we go.
Dude.
I mean, like, to bring it, just when we were thinking about, like, personalities and whatnot, like, I don't know how you feel, but sometimes I feel like, Korean people's, like, Korean Americans, like, sense of humor is so underdeveloped. And, like, is humor everything? No. Like, I'm, it's not like I can't be friends with you or whatever because you're not funny. But I'm like, I feel like we can speak to the whole a little bit, like, based on what we've seen. And I don't know, I think it's also an Asian American thing, especially those with really intense parents where their, like, life skills are just so underdeveloped because, like, they've just been told, hey, if you can get yourself into an Ivy League, life is set.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oof, but everything else, like, you'll meet some kids who have parents like that, and, like, you can't talk. You can't hold a conversation. It's really bad. I mean, especially, like, I think it's just so prevalent now because, like, in like, high school, yeah, like, I was a little awkward, too. I was, like, hella depressed. So it's, like, it doesn't stand out as much, but, like, at this age now, if you don't have, like, base social skills, it's really apparent.
I agree. I think that Asian men in general, I think here's where I have a soft spot for Asian guys. I know that it was tough for a lot of Asian men growing up in not having many cultural role models, I guess, and it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult for Asian men to find themselves like desired by society. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times in media, Asian men are very desexualized, you know? And so I can understand why a lot of Asian men are like awkward or uncomfortable and not quite there with their sexuality, or like being confident in expressing their sexuality, you know? I have a soft spot for Asian men in that way, and I can forgive that much. But however, like, we're 28.
Yeah.
We're 28, and I think to be that person for you to bring yourself out of your shell, I just don't have the propensity to do that. And like, I think like, I don't know, like college is a good time to do that. I feel like college is a time where you break out of your shell and you start to explore and you start to experiment and gain that confidence. But like trying to build somebody up from scratch, from no confidence and nothing, it's just like, it is too much work for truly anybody to do for you. That's something that you have to have the initiative to fix for yourself.
I'm also like, hey, I already work with kids for my job. I don't need to rear another one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what you do? Like, should I put a diaper on you next? Like, But like, okay, I wanted to add something because there's a new layer that I'm noticing, like the point you were just making.
Yeah.
However, which is so fair. I think you're so right in that, like, they weren't seen. I think Asian women, we kind of like got the fetishy attention, which is not necessarily better, but with guys, not feeling like hot or whatnot. But there's this new layer of newfounded cockiness because Koreans are kind of so up right now, and like, don't get me wrong, I also find a lot of pride and joy in it because here I am, like, getting to see these little, like, white girls come up to me being like, listening to K-pop, like, and I'm like, that's so cool because I would have been a social martyr if I revealed I was listening to K-pop and watching anime as a kid. However, the way that, and maybe it's not a gender thing, maybe it's in general, but the way these, like, no offense, like, dull-ass Koreans will, like, then exploit off of that and are like, oh my god, we're so up right now, like, and they're getting a little cocky with it. I'm like, guys, I know we're having, like, a good moment, but, like, let's be chill about it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I will never forgive you guys, the audience, and Korea Boos for boosting up the most boring ass Korean people in their content ever. Like, I swear to God, I will not name names because I don't want to make enemies, but there is a certain group of Korean American influencers from SoCal that literally have the personality of a fucking cardboard box.
Yeah.
And do so well. And like, listen, I like their content. I think they work really hard to make good content, but I'm just like, I will never forgive you guys for like gassing up Korean people so much and emboldening them to think that they're funny or like that pretty, especially with guys. Like, I hate to say this and you guys will hate me for saying this. That guy who's like the Hongdae oppa.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I think he's a really sweet guy, but you guys are gassing him up way too much.
Let's be careful.
Be careful there now. I think he's doing something important for the community, which is to talk about Hongdae fuckboys, but like, and he's a good looking guy, he's okay, but don't gas him up too much.
I mean, yeah, and like, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? It was similar to that, but
the thing with the Hongdae guy though, okay, the reason why I say don't gas him up too much is because that's his only shtick. Guys, for people who are in comedy, you constantly have to challenge them and want them to do better. And I feel like for a lot of Korean content creators, like, you guys don't hold, like, Korea Boos especially, you don't hold them up to higher standards. We can be funnier. We can be better, guys. You gotta hold us accountable.
Oh my god, or like, even, you know what that made me think of? What I was gonna say is like, like when this like white Korea Boo will get, and it's not gendered, it's either of the two ways, when a like white Korea Boo gets with like a Korean person, and then
all their videos,
it's like, challenge with my Korean partner, eating Korean food challenge, speaking only Korean 24 hours challenge, where he's Korean.
My soul dies when I see those videos. I can't. I'm like,
you're doing us dirty, like,
oh, guys,
so dirty.
this renaissance of Korean people and Korean media, like, I don't know how long this is gonna go for, truthfully. Like, K-pop is trendy now, could totally be a bust in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But, like, well, this is the example of Korea's soft power. The government invests lots of money into K-pop and K-dramas. You know, this is how Korea stays culturally relevant. A lot of money is poured into it from the Korean government. But again, guys, I have to remind you, you got to keep us accountable. I feel like some Korean people who just look mildly conventionally attractive get on there, and you guys gas them up, and they think that they're hot shit. Don't stop doing that, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm begging you. And the same goes for us too. If you don't like our content, tell us.
Don't tell me, but you can tell me.
You can tell me.
Don't tell me.
I can take it. I
can.
And I will do my best to be better. But don't allow this level of mediocrity from Korea.
Yeah. Don't tell me, just tell me I'm the best, or don't tell me at all. But you can tell me, Minjoo, that's fine.
You can tell me.
But that's so true. And like, I want better for us. You know, ultimately, we want better for us. Like, it is cool to be up right now. Like, I remember feeling just so uncool or as like a 10-year-old. But you know, it's nice. But like, you've got to be solid in yourself outside of that. You know,
agree.
This will only last for so long or give you so much.
Agree. And like, honestly, how much more content can you make about K-beauty?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, they're starting these crazy, outrageous trends, and I'm just like, how long can you keep that up for? And how long will people stay interested? Because I feel like it's starting to wane a little bit, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk about like one more thing and then try to wrap up.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Let me think at my list and I'll make a cut here.
We're the complete opposite. If you guys could see my house right now, it's like littered in boxes and random stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she makes she's very type A, which I love.
See, not all Asians are the same.
No, we're not.
I have lists about, I'll make a list about anything. I have an app to make sure I drink enough water. My entire life is on my Google Calendar. My itineraries, whenever I travel anywhere, scary place, but I like it. You know, you need to find systems that work for you. But this is because I made some notes in case we ran out of things to say, or I felt like we needed a new direction. Oh, you know, we never got to answering this question, but like, if we were to go more positively, it's really easy to criticize something that traumatized you. But if you had to pull away one positive from the kind of upbringing we had, what do you think that is?
We would have never met if we were not in the
Korean church.
What
a good answer!
Dude, that was such a good answer, right?
She's trying to butter me up.
Yeah, but I already got some, so I don't even care at this point. True. I'm just being kind out of the goodness of my heart.
Oh, wow.
But honestly, dude, when you do meet good people, it's great. Like, I'm still friends with people. The people that I'm best friends with now are people that I met in the church. Some of them are still in church. Some of them are not. Listen, at the end of the day, if you're a good person, church doesn't change that. I think church amplifies the good, but it also amplifies the bad. You know what I mean? Or maybe it amplifies the bad more than the good, honestly. But you gotta agree, like, a lot of our really, really close friends are from the Korean church, right?
Yeah, I agree with you in that, like, there are levels to it. Like, you know, some of them, their involvement in the church or their involvement in organized religion very much varies, as so does it apply to me as well. But I agree, like, I've met great people through it, and is it because we all went to church? I don't necessarily think so. That just is how it happened.
It just happens.
But it's great to have like good people in your life. That's a good answer. I was gonna say something a little more like tangible because I'm a robot. I was gonna say, if we're talking like skills and strategies and whatnot, sorry, I'm like so classic, like neurodivergent robot. Like, anyways, but what I was gonna say is that I think this is not specific to just my upbringing. I know this is incredibly common for POC with immigrant parents, but I am like very much like learning more and more when comparing myself to my peers who don't have a similar upbringing to me. My ability to code switch and work with different types of people is quite, if I do say so myself, outstanding. Like, and I mean like across ages, across races, across levels of education, across careers. I think like having to dance around like working with like difficult people, honestly, and also managing your own relationship with your parents, like having immigrant parents is unexplainable. Like people who are born and raised in America with parents and family who are, you know, they have generations of American citizens in their family, like really don't get it. But it is like your experience with immigrant parents is so layered because you are managing your identity in ways that is so hard to explain. And I think my ability to adjust my speech and mannerisms and conversational topics as needed. Wow, I sound like a robot. This is really scary, guys. I like sound like a manipulator.
It's a very tactical answer.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be like, oh, my parents are...
No, oh my God, Minjoo was like, I was like, oh shit, should I change my answer? Because Minjoo was like, because I met my good friends through it. And I'm like, here I am, like, I think it provided me this skill set. Jeez. But, you know, I agree. That's there too. But I also was going to make that point. God, cut. God.
Oh my God. But guys, that we met and that we have things to talk about. I feel like because we've been through trauma, like we understand and we're more interesting as people now, truthfully.
I will say, and I have one good friend that went to like my childhood church, and like our ability to understand certain nuances is like we can sit and just like we'll talk about family and then we'll just start crying, like, and we haven't even said much. And it's like really like that's well, I mean the source is kind of in trauma as you mentioned, but like but it is kind of beautiful, you know. It's like your ability to connect on a level, and that's why spirituality is important to me, because you know what I choose to label myself as or what I'm trying to figure out how it would apply to lifestyle or whatnot, I'm not sure, but I do put a lot of value into believing there has to be meaning to the world and life, and there has to be more to this. Do I know that means an explicit heaven and hell as depicted in like what we learned? I don't know. But like for me, I have to live with meaning. Like I think there are some people who are like, you know, none of this has meaning. Like I'm just like trying to like live a good life. Like I get it. Yeah. That just, I can't live like that. And that's just how I am as a person.
Valid. So valid.
But
yeah.
All right, well.
That was a great question.
Yeah, thank you. You know, now we need to go
get some sloppy toppy from each other. So we gotta save some time for that.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. But
bye guys. I love talking to you. We're so awkward, please.